Your tenure, you don't have a whole lot of regret of selecting players and dragging free agents away, but you do regret Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Sitting right there, you had the fifth pick in the draft, and you don't take him. You think that would have changed the fortunes?
I do. I do, and because I really liked him. But the problem is, and the way that I worked is I wanted buy-in from the coaching staff, and I couldn't get the buy-in from the coaching staff. Right, I couldn't get everybody on the same page with it. And so I loved him. Now, when he was coming out, he wasn't perfect.
Yeah, he was raw.
He was very, very raw, right? And and his accuracy was the biggest question.
Right.
He was athletic as hell, big, strong, competitive, and all those type things. But there was that was the one question. I loved him. That's why I say I regret it, is because I didn't overrule everybody and say
I'm taking him.
I'm taking him. Right, I'm taking him because now it's up to you to make him good, right? But none of the coaches were all kind of, and then
nobody,
and they were all hot on Bradley Chubb, right? Because it was, I'm forgetting who the head coach was. It was it VJ at the time?
Might have been VJ.
It might have been VJ. And so they were all hot on getting
pairing him with Vaughn.
But yeah, exactly, right? So I just couldn't get the buy-in, and even though I liked him. But so the one regret I have that we've talked about is that I didn't just overrule and say we're taking him.
Right.
Now, again, you have to have the right coach.
To coach him up, because you look at him his first year, he wasn't like that until he got with Dayball, and now these coaches.
Correct, and be able to get. That's why if you don't have buy-in on that offensive side, and knowing that, okay, well, So that's the one regret as a GM.
Howie Long said Caleb Williams is this generation's John Elway.
He's coming on.
He is. He's unbelievable.
He's coming on. He's doing better. And the one thing, he's moving around. He's not. Decision making is getting better, and I think he's a great player. It's like anything. He's still young. He's not. To me, in watching him the few games that I've watched him, he's not hitting the ones he should hit every time. Right. The easy ones, the ones that the square outs, the hitches.
Yes.
Those type balls that you got to be on target every time.
Right.
That he's still a little, but that'll come.
Right.
That'll come with maturity and.
But that throw that he made against Green Bay in overtime.
Oh my God.
The one that he made a couple of weeks earlier, where he threaded and needed through two guys, and his guy catches it. I mean, his ability to throw on the move.
And the one thing that I believe this too, Shannon, is that as a quarterback to be great in the NFL, you have to be able to win it from the pocket.
Yes.
You got to be able to make the throws from the pocket. Now, the addition of movement and creating big plays, extending plays, that is all an added bonus.
Right.
But to be able to be great, and that's where that's where Caleb, I think, is getting a lot better.
Right.
Because in college, he's such a better athlete than anybody. He can do whatever he wants, run around all over the place, right? But he seems to be getting more comfortable staying in that pocket. Ben Johnson's keeping him in there a little bit when he's making those throws. And then the added bonus is the ability to move around.
The franchise tag was possibly created because of you, because Mr. Bolin didn't want to use you. So they wanted to be able to tag a player that they felt was a foundation piece that he was going to be remembered for playing for this organization. Do you remember anything about 1993, the free agency?
I'd heard the same rumor. I don't know if that's 100% true, but I'd heard the same thing, that it was Pat that was one that brought that up and was a staunch supporter of the franchise tag. So,
right.
Yeah. And I was fine with it because I didn't want to go anywhere else anyway. So,
how does John Elway, when it's all said and done, 25 years from now, you came here in '83 and you never left. You have other places in different spots, but this is home. How does John Elway want to be remembered?
I would like, number one is a person that was a positive influence on the community. Have the legacy, have the remembrance of a solid playing career, but also somebody that was a positive influence within the community, and also was, one that helped bring Denver, out of the dusty old cowboy days, and hopefully, help bring the city to where it is today. But also, I think the most important thing is, and I believe it in my life, the most important thing to me is relationships.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter about money, anything else that you have, what you've done, all that stuff is the relationships that you have, that, that the people that I've met here, and you realize that, he was a great football player, but a better person.
How did you attract, it's a lot easier when you got Peyton. But how do you go about attracting free agents? You get a key to leave. You get a DeMarcus Ware.
It goes back to having Peyton Manning here. I mean, because if someone, and that's why having Peyton or having a quarterback, that's why you need that quarterback, because they got to be able to believe in that quarterback.
Yes.
That they got to believe that he's good, because then they know they have a chance to win.
Correct.
Right? So the one draw is that quarterback that you can draw to him, and that's what players will migrate to, because they want to be on winning football teams.
Yes.
And if that quarterback's a great player, then you'll be able to get those people. And that's why, because Peyton was here. Peyton wasn't what he was, but he was still. I mean, in 2013, he threw for 55 touchdowns and 5,000 some yards, right? So he still was great, right? And so being able to get those guys, right? And then DeMarcus was big, because he knew. And so DeMarcus was kind of the first piece, and then Takib came, and then TJ came after that.
Yeah.
So being able
and
to put that
you got drafted Malik and Wolf.
Yeah, Wolf was in the second round. We got Malik in the fifth round.
Right.
But it was just a great combination. And Danny Trevathan inside was a great player. We got him
Brandon Marshall.
Got him in the sixth round. Brandon Marshall was later, fifth rounder or something like that. So just a great combination. Plus Wade was a great defensive coach, put it all together too.
But Peyton, to get Peyton, knowing what there was not, I don't know if there was a whole lot of suitors for his services given what he had been through, because it wasn't like he was Randy Johnson, had a fastball anyway.
Right.
So now he's dealing with that neck surgery, getting those nerves, the fire back. There was a possibility, well, he's not going to be able to be what he once was. But you took a chance, like, look.
Half of Peyton Manning's still better than a lot of players at that point in time, right?
Yes.
So he was still coming off that and didn't know if things were coming back, but the prognosis was very good that things were going to be able to come back. And plus, we went through it. I think the Cardinals were in it, the Titans were in it. I can't remember else where he took a trip. Then,
Tennessee.
And, the
Titans.
Tennessee. That's the one that worried me, right? Because he went to college down there, and so. We just showed him what Denver's about, right? John Fox was here, was very, a very good guy, good coach, and so he was a good recruiter. But, our plan was just to show Peyton what we had.
Right.
Show him Denver. Mike McCoy's the OC. Get him with Mike to be able to know that we're going to integrate, Peyton, what you want to do into what we're doing.
Right.
If you come here, we're going to do what you want to do.
Right.
And we're going to integrate it and talk through it and And so, and I think, as you know, it's so great to play in Denver.
It's
Broncos and Mr. Bone was still there at that point in time, and so the whole combination was a great fit for Peyton. It ended up being that way. So it was funny because I'm sitting at the desk. John Fox is there. Peyton told us, I can't remember, it was a Monday. He goes, I'm gonna let everybody know on Monday, and so he calls. It's Peyton on the phone, and John Fox is sitting next to me, and I'm like. He goes, and Peyton says, well, I'm just I'm calling, letting people know what I'm gonna do, and I'm sitting there going, okay, well. Is this the first call, the second call, or the third call? He goes, well, this is the third call. I said, oh, okay. So that, he goes, I turned the other two down. I wanted to let you know that I'm coming to Denver.
Oh, wow.
Thank God I'm the third call. And I told Fox, and Fox went crazy. So, but it was great to get him here.
We're going to get you out of a few questions left. Cam said he's still haunted by not jumping on that ball in the Super Bowl. Is there a play that haunts you that you wish after all these years, you could have a do-over?
Wow. One that pops in my mind all the time was against the Raiders here. Mike Shannon was the coach of the Raiders.
Okay.
And we're in overtime. And I threw a deep ball, and I should have never thrown the ball. And they ended up picking it off, and we ended up losing the game. And I couldn't tell you who picked it off or whatnot, but it's still one that picked that. So it has to be that one. That was probably the worst decision I made, or worst throw I made too.
Right.
Decision and throw. And, it was one of those that's like, why'd you throw that one?
Right.
I always think about that. So that's probably it.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party, because we like to do something before 2 something.